Okay, so here is the magazine layout we did in class. And I just want to make a video going over how to export out the PDFs correctly and how to package your file for a grade. You'll be doing the same process with the magazine spread project at the end. So you'll have to make a PDF with crop marks and a bleed included in the PDF. And then you'll have to print it on 11 by 17 and then trim it down to size. So if we do a file, save to save our work, I've already done that. And then we can do a file export to get a PDF out of here. And I'm just going to put it in my modern layout folder, my project, or my documents, and I made a modern layout folder. Ignore these. These are just demo things. But I'm going to make this a PDF for print. Save that. And then this is where it gets kind of interesting. We're on the General tab right now, but we need to go to Range, and we just want to export out pages 2 and 3. We don't want to export out page 1. And then we don't want this on pages. It'll probably be on pages, but let's make sure this is checked on spreads, because we want to export out 2 and 3 as a spread, which means page 2 and 3 are going to be exported out as one big chunk next to each other with the fold line in the middle. So make sure you click that, put this 2-3, and then, we don't have to worry about this. This is the other area that's important, marks and bleeds. We want to get the crop marks in there, so you have to include the crop marks because that's what you're going to trim your image to the size of your, the actual size of your document. And then make sure that this Use Document Bleed Settings checkbox is checked. Everything else should be okay. So just push Export. And then if we take a look at that file in our folder, let's take a look at that. We can see it exported out as a spread, one big chunk between those two pages. You can see the fold line right here, I believe. And then here's the crop marks. So we'd actually trim, if we were to trim this, we would just use a rotary cutter or a ruler and an X-Acto knife and just trim off the excess. And when we actually trim this, it would trim through part of the image here. And then following this one, it would actually trim through part of this image as well. And that's because these are our bleeds. They go past our actual document size, and then we trim them down to size so that we can get our images all the way to the edge of the print. Because printers can't print up all the way to the edge of a piece of paper. They always leave a white mark around, and so to get around that, we have to create bleeds on our documents. We have to export out the PDF file with the bleed included and the crop mark so we know where to trim down to. And then we would print this on an 11 by 17 piece of paper because it would fit on a tabloid. And then we could just fold it, trim it down to size using the crop marks and trim off the edges of the images that are overlapping. And that's how we would get our images to bleed over the edges of our document. And that's how you export out the PDF with the bleeds included and the crop marks included. And that's what the kind of PDF I want you to submit to me when you submit the magazine spread project. So I'm going to want to file, you can do a file package to get that. You'll include your you can make modern layout folder, then copy links, fonts, that, and then you don't need to do the IDML, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do this. Include PDF print, that's fine. This one's modified, which is probably going to have the crop marks and the, but we'll package that. I'll replace my other one. Might not let me, but anyways, let's just pretend I did that. And then if we go into this folder where I packaged this, you can tell it's the package one because it has folder on the end. But I have my fonts, my links, and let's take a look at this. See, it didn't export this out right, I don't think. But we can always, sorry, I'm in Acrobat right now. We can always export out within that folder our PDF print, making sure to take those steps 2 through 3, spreads, crop marks, and bleed settings, export that out. And then I think I wanted a JPEG too, so file export. In the same folder, Modern layout. Let's see here. I'm just going to make sure I'm in the right thing here. And make this a JPEG, save that, and then high 300 at CMYK. So then then you can zip up the folder that you packaged with the high resolution JPEG and CMYK color mode, with the PDF with the marks and bleeds included, the INDD, the links, the images, the fonts. Zip that up and then package that up and bring that into Brightspace for a grade on the due date of the magazine project.